It's just slow. I think it's a network problem. There we go. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-thru. Sponsored by Deli. Special shout-out to Akmal. Welcome to the Deli, buddy. This one's for you. Your first ever live recording. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? Okay, so we are doing how many times does x plus 3, gosh, this delay is going to kill me, go into x cubed plus 13x squared plus 46x plus 48. Okay, this is, for some of you, this is going to be the last time you ever have to do this. Okay, because we're learning a different technique today. And then you get to choose. So, we say how many times does x go into x cubed? What's the answer to that, class? It goes in an x squared amount of times. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 3 is 3x squared. Those are gone. Oops, excuse me. Those are gone, and you get, you're going to subtract this whole thing. So you get 10x squared, okay? How many times does x go into 10x squared? 10x, excellent. 10x times x is 10x squared. Bring down my 46x. I get a 10x squared. Come on, just work. Plus 30x. Subtract. Isn't it nice when they're always positive? It's just a lot easier. 46x minus 30 is 16x. How many times does x go into 16x? 16 times. Bring down my 48. And this is the nicest of all of them because 16 times x is 16x, and 16 times 3 happens to be 48, and our remainder is 0. So our answer is this. It's x squared plus 10x plus 16. Okay? All right. Does everybody have the handout that I gave them? Did I give you out a handout? Okay, time out. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do the example problem that's in front of you. So all I want you to do is watch. I promise you this is worth your time. I think even of you that liked the way we did it yesterday are going to eventually be swayed to do it this way. But this is America. You can do whatever you want, okay? So here is the strategy. We are doing x cubed. I just need some space so I can rewrite this. Plus 13x squared plus 46x plus 48 divided by this thing divided by x plus 3, okay? Here's the strategy. First thing you're going to do, here's the good news about this. Under this method, we have no more subtraction and no more variables. And those are the two things that are throwing you guys off the most. So that's the good news. You take this plus 3 and you change it to a negative 3 because what we want in there is our root, our answer. So just like on our test, if we had that equals 0, what would our answer be? It'd be negative 3. So that's where that comes from. We're not just like magically switching the sign, okay? Now, the next thing you do is you write all the leading coefficients. Keep in mind, that's a 1 there, across from left to right. Once again, just like yesterday, we have to be careful that we skip a term. We haven't even done any like that yet, but we will. We're going to do 3 of these together today. Okay, so I write down a 1, and then a space 13, space 46, and a space and a 48. And then give yourself some room and write a subtraction sign. Okay, you don't even have to write this down right now if you don't want. Just follow along with me. We'll do the next 2 together. Okay? And then this is just the process. It's very similar to yesterday's process, but since we switched this sign, now we're going to get to add. So you bring down that 1. Every time, that's your process. You bring down that number. You write negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, and you rewrite that there, just like yesterday. Now, instead of subtracting, you add. What is 13 plus negative 3? That is 10. It's really the same thing as subtracting. Hopefully that's how you think of it. It's really no difference. Okay? Negative 3 times positive 10 is negative 30. 46 plus negative 30 is 16. Negative 3 times 16, negative 48. 48 plus negative 48, 0. Since our question said x cubed divided by x, we know that our first one is going to be 1x squared, and now you just go down the row in x. So it's plus 10 what? And then plus 16 with no remainder. And look. Voila, same thing. Got it? So maybe you didn't like that way, but I'm telling you, after we do 3 or 4 of these together, I think you're going to be on board. Okay? So let's just jump right into number 1. My technology's been screwed up today, so I got to write these out by hand. So, number 1, 3x squared minus 8x plus 7 divided by x minus 1. Okay, this is the one I was warning you about. Did I screw it up? Oh, shoot, that's number 1 on yesterday's. Okay, sorry about that. This is number 1 from today's, and this is what I was warning you about, because what I want you to notice is that what this actually says is x cubed. You would never write it like this, but it's going to help us to think about it this way. Plus 0x squared. Do you see how there's no x squared term there? We have to take that into account. We always have to have all of them. So all I did there was rewrite the problem. Okay, we won't do that every time. I just want you to understand. Now what we need to do, what am I going to change this plus 2 to? We're going to write a negative 2 inside this little half box. And now we write our leading coefficients. There's a 1 there. So it's 1, 0, negative 2, and a positive 8. I don't need to write that plus. I give myself room, and I write a line. It's always weird to get started. So what's the first thing that I do? I bring down the 1. Excellent, Will. That's kind of the weird part. Sometimes people forget how to get started. Now it is multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add until you're done. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Now we add. 0 plus negative 2. Negative 2. After we add, what do we do next? Multiply. Negative times a negative is? Now we add. Negative 2 plus 4? Positive 2. Now we multiply. Negative 4, right? Negative 2 times positive 2. And 8 plus negative 4 is? 4. We started with x cubed, so our answer will be x squared, always 1 less because we're dividing it out, minus 2x plus 2. So we didn't get a 0 here, which just means, just like yesterday, sometimes we have a remainder. You always write the remainder over the divisor. Okay? You'll see if you like it. Just stay with me in the video. Do the next 2 with the new technique, and then you can pick from there. Okay? Number 2. It says 12x cubed minus 71x squared plus 57x minus 10 divided by x minus 5. Okay? It goes 3, 2, 1, 0. We have nothing to fill in with zeros. We have everything there we need. We have to switch this sign to a positive 5 and put it in our little half box. And now we write down 12, a negative 71, a positive 57, and a negative 10. We give ourselves space, and what do we bring down first? The 12. Okay, I'll do the math for you. You can use your calculators on this. 5 times 12 is 60. After we multiply, what do we do next? We add. Negative 71 plus 60 is negative 11. 5 times negative 11, negative 55. 57 plus negative 55 is the same thing as 57 minus 55, which is 2. 5 times 2, positive 10, negative 10 and positive 10, 0. That means we do not have a remainder, so our answer will be what? 12x squared minus 11x plus 2. Not bad, huh? All right, moving on to number 3. Remix. Hey, are we good enough now that I don't have to rewrite this? I can just go straight to the little box. So what am I going to put in my little box in number 3? I'm going to put in a -1. Okay? And are we skipping anything here? We are not. That's nice. So we just write down a 3, a 1, a negative 6, a negative 9, and a 12. Okay? Now, I would like to defend myself before we do this. If you didn't do yesterday's assignment, you would have no idea what you were doing. Do you understand that? You would just be writing down this magic math where you were multiply, adding. Hopefully you understand. This is just an alternative to long division because we didn't exactly love yesterday's lesson. Okay? What do we do first? Bring down the 3. Then it's multiply. Then it's add. Then it's multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Remainder. Love it. Our first term was x to the 4th. So this will be 3x what? 3x cubed or 3x to the 3rd. Did I screw something up, Elena? Uh-oh. Yep. Negative 5 there. Positive 5 there, you're saying? 19. Thank you. That's what I had the whole time. Uh-oh. 17. That's what I had. Siang. Or Fang Yi. Jeez. Just look at what's going on. If you just pay attention, you would know. I'm just joking. Just joking. Just joking. All right, there we go. Now we're right. 3x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 5 plus 17 out of, now I got to look at my paper again, x plus 1. Okay, one more together. Did everybody get that? Thanks for catching my mistake. All right, number 4. What am I going to write down in my little half box? A positive 2. Now we've got things being skipped here. Okay? So we're going to write down a 2 and then a what? And then we're going to write down a 0 because we have to hold our place. Then we write down a... the reason you need a 0, Alex, the best way I could explain it is like, you remember when you were doing like something weird, like 5 divided by 12? First of all, when this started happening, you were like, you can't do that, and your teacher's like, oh yeah, you can. But what did you have to do? You had to add a 0 there to hold the place, essentially. And that's like that's the same reason we're doing it. We need something there so we can figure out what it goes into. Okay, so 2, 0, negative 15, and 23? The question was, where does the 0 go? And the answer is, it goes wherever we are missing a term. So notice we have a 2x cubed and a negative 15x to the first, so the 0 must be with the x squared. There might be some problems where you got to put in 2 zeros. Okay? All right, draw our line. Try not to mess up this time. 2 times 2 is 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 15 plus 8 is negative 7. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. 23 minus 14 is positive 9. We started with x cubed, so our answer is 2x squared plus 4x minus 7 plus 9 over x minus 2. What do you think? You like the videos? You know what happens at the end of every video? Boom!